Hi, in this video, we'll be looking at compound interest. So you may already know what interest is in general. You may already have looked at simple interest, but just in case, I'll give you a quick recap. So interest is the amount of money that's earned extra if you put in your money in an account. So for example, let's say you put your money, $100 in an account, and at the end of a couple of years you have $110. That 10 extra dollars is called interest. Now we've looked at simple interest, and simple interest is a percentage of that original amount, or is found by taking percentages of that original amount over time. And compound interest is slightly different. Compound interest is the interest that's earned on both that original amount and any extra interest that has been earned. So every year for compound interest, you're building on a bigger amount. You're taking a percentage of a bigger amount for compound interest each year, or each, they would say, compounding period. So if the interest is calculated each year, then you're calculating interest on a bigger amount each year. If it's done each month, you're calculating interest on a bigger amount each month. All right, so let's put a definition down just to make sure you got that down. Okay, so as I just discussed here, the compound interest is the interest earned on both the principal, remember that's the original amount, and any interest that was previously earned, so it's piling up. Okay, so the formula to find compound interest is the one that we'll be using in this video, is A equals P times 1 plus R to the T. Now, a little word of warning, depending on which class you're learning this for, or which teacher you have, or which video you're watching, whatever it is, the notation may be slightly different. So it's important to understand exactly what these parts of this formula is in order to convert the formula to whatever you're doing in your class. So A, so you know, A is the final balance. And when I say final balance, I mean final amount, what you end up with after how many years. Sometimes I use FV, sometimes I use F, sometimes, different books, different courses, different things. So just remember that whatever is over here, that's your final balance. Not the interest, but the final balance. Now P, most people will use P as the principal. That's the starting amount. Starting, there we go. So that's the starting balance or the principal. R, and some formulas may write R differently. Some formulas may convert R to R might be a decimal. In this case, R is a decimal, so the interest rate as a decimal. So percent interest, but converted to a decimal. So some formulas, you may see R over 100. If you see R over 100, not to fair, that just means that the formula you're looking at in that case has not converted to a decimal. So in this formula, you first have to convert to a decimal, then plug into the formula. Hope that makes sense. All right, and T, I'm guessing you probably know what T is. T is time. And if everything that we're going to be doing is going to be yearly. So let's make this compound interest annually. If you want to see how to do compound interest monthly, semi-annually, quarterly, all of that stuff, I will link that in my description below. That's for a more advanced group. For this group, we're going to do everything annually, which would mean that time is going to be in years. Okay, with all that in mind, I think we are now ready to do an example. Okay, so here we have an account that we deposited $1,500 into, and we see that it earns 2.4% interest per year, compounding annually. So we want to know the balance, the final balance after 6 years. So going ahead and using the formula that we just wrote down, we know that A is equal to P times 1 plus R to the T. So let's go through our question and figure out what each thing is. So remember that P is the principal amount or the starting amount. So our starting amount in this question is 1500, so that is our P value. All right, and we want to know the final amount, so that we don't know. So we can just put that down as A. We have P. We need R. Let's see if we can figure out what R is in the question. So in our question, it says that the account earns 2.4% per year. That is our percent interest rate. But remember, in this version of the formula, we need to go ahead and convert that into a decimal. We do that by moving our decimal point 2 places to the left. And so we get that R is 0.024. All right, so our formula just has one more thing that we need to plug in here, and that's time in years. So fortunately for us, this question already gave us the time in years, and that is 6, so we know that that is our T value. So we can go ahead and plug into this formula. So we have P, which is 1500, 1 plus 0.024, that is our R value, to the power of 6. And we can put all of that into our calculator. We would not want to do that by hand. And we get that the final value is 1,000. I wish it was 17,000. I'd go to that bank. 1,729.38 or and 38 cents. So the balance, the final balance in the account after 6 years is $1,729.38. Let's take it one quick step further. Let's say you were asked for the interest. What is the interest earned? So you may recall that interest earned is the extra money you get. So you put money into the account and money comes after 6 years, you have more money. How much more money do you have? So if you're asked for the interest in this case, you have to subtract the final value, which is, we call that, oh, that's supposed to be an A. I don't know why it looks like that. So we go ahead and take A and we subtract the initial amount. That will give us the interest earned. So our final value was $1,729.38, and our starting value was 1,500. So the difference between those two amounts is $229.38. That's the extra money that was earned, and so that is the interest. All right,